DC on 3, family on 6. 1, 2, 3! DC! 4, 5, 6!
Alright, a new episode. Welcome back, everybody. As always, episode, what number is it?
We're on 6.
No, number 6.
Yes.
Well, as always, welcome back. My name is Massey.
Armando.
Jacibe Blanco. Kristen Hips.
Carmen Camacho.
And you might ask, who are these people? These are our great mothers of our soccer players that we have here at the Dream Center and supporting the kids and the youth that we have here. Good introduction? Well, you ready?
So, two moms of our kids, yes. And my mom, of course. Right. So today we're going to be talking, the topic's going to be soccer moms, right? People typically get a conception of soccer moms, they think minivan. I think all three of you do drive a minivan, right?
No way.
I think that's just coincidence.
No way.
It's lucky coincidence. But soccer moms are more than just a minivan. I think soccer moms are pivotal to athletic kids, right? It is titled Soccer Moms, but in reality, we're going to talk about parents supporting their kids in all sports. Today is going to be our first episode in Spanglish as well, so both English and Spanish. So hoy vamos a estar hablando de lo que es ser una mamá de fútbol, de lo que es apoyar a los niños tanto en el deporte como en el académico y qué rol importante toman tanto la mamá como el papá en apoyar a los niños. So, Mas, you want to get started with the questions?
Questions, big ones. Well, I think something that we always ask, and it's like, I guess a ritual now, to ask this question is like, how did he get started here at the Dream Center? Or how did he get introduced here? If you want to say whatever, left to right, right to left.
La pregunta iniciativa que es ya como la costumbre que tenemos es, ¿cómo iniciaron en el Dream Center? So, si quiere empezar usted, ¿cómo empezó aquí en el Dream?
Nosotros comenzamos por mi nieto, por Dylan. Él empezó a jugar, vino una pastorela, empezó también una pastorela, él estuvo aquí participando bien bonito, por medio de él fueron mis hijos, mi esposo jugando y aquí estamos.
So it's pretty much the same story of how I got started here at the Dream Center through Dylan.
Right on.
You know, Dylan started here, he was in a Christmas play, and he started playing soccer. Then my brother and I got involved, and my dad started playing soccer, and so I slowly brought my mom in here.
Well, I started, I think it was you signed up the kids for
Soccer.
Yeah. I have 3 kids, I have 4 total, but 3 of them play. And we have always been really close to Armand and his family. And he told me, I signed up the kids for soccer. And I said, okay, when do I need to take them? And so they started and loved it. And that was maybe a year
and a half ago.
ago.
I think, something like that.
Yeah, and we have never left this place. They love it. And every time they have a chance, they want to be here.
You can never leave once you come here.
Yes, true. So yo empecé por medio de Armando. Él invitó a mis hijos, tengo 4 y 3 de ellos juegan fútbol. Los invitó a venir a jugar y desde ese entonces hemos seguido viniendo. Mis hijos les encanta estar aquí. Cada vez que pueden y tienen tiempo, aquí están. Y ha sido una experiencia muy bonita para nosotros.
I got started because of Jacibe's son, Frankie. Because Frankie and Frankie and Eamon have played soccer
since they were 5.
Like 5 years, 5 years old on the same team. And Frankie invited Eamon, and Eamon fell in love. And next thing I know, we're at the Dream Center. But it's been a great experience, so.
Cool. So you guys have been very supportive of your kids all the way. And that's the reason we wanted to have you guys here today, because there's one thing I love. For example, I see it with Hasi firsthand, right? They're all over the place, right? Hasi has a game in Winston-Salem. Frankie has a game in Chapel Hill. Ian has a game in Alabama, right? So they're all over the place, and yet you always find a way to do it. You always do it with a smile on your face. You're happy, you're excited. You know, I haven't met you for long, but I always see you there. I mean, when the kids went to England, you went with them, right? And I mean, we were talking about it earlier, you play soccer yourself. And so that's what we want to pick at, like how does that make you feel? Like, what does it mean to be a soccer parent? Like, the emotion, what drives you to keep taking these kids? Because it takes a lot of money and it takes a lot of patience and it just takes a lot of time, you know, but what keeps you going to support your kids, to keep taking them everywhere, watching them play, bringing family along and everything?
For me, it's watching them develop and being happy. They love it, and it's their passion. The three of them, Frankie, Ian, and Hassie, they're all very different. I have two boys and a girl. And Frankie and Ian are more, they want like more. They want to pursue this as something bigger than just playing for a small club. Hassie, it's more like, she's more relaxed. She's good with playing, once a week and practicing a couple times a week. I haven't seen that drive on her yet. I don't know if she wants to do it. I guess I have to clone myself. But it's just seeing how they have developed into really mature athletes and men, because they're growing to be good people. They're disciplined. I see them, like waking up early, working out, trying to watch what they eat. I mean, it's not perfect because they're kids. They're growing, but they love doing that, and that's what gives me the boost to do whatever I need to do to make sure I'm there and I'm supporting them. Para mí, en específico, es verlos que son muy felices haciendo el deporte que hacen. Ellos hacen fútbol. Ver que están creciendo, que están agarrando una disciplina, que se levantan temprano, que tratan de comer bien, que tratan de hacer su deporte lo mejor que puedan y que están felices. Los dos niños quieren como un poquito más del deporte, quieren tal vez jugar en un nivel más alto. La niña casi no. Le gusta mucho, pero está contenta jugando un poco menos. Y eso es lo que a mí me motiva para tratar de hacer todo lo que pueda hacer para que ellos traten de cumplir sus sueños.
I do it because my son loves it, and when he stops loving it, then I'll stop doing it. He's very intense and very disciplined and very motivated at this point, and he's been very blessed to have very good coaches and teammates. And it makes him happy, and as long as he tells me that he is still enjoying it, then I will do my best to support it. But when it stops being fun, then it's time to look at other things.
So les pregunté como padres, ¿qué es lo que lo motiva? Porque, bueno, pues con usted lo vivimos, los dos, ¿verdad? Y pues yo ya mayor, entonces yo pude ir a la universidad y todo, algo que le falta todavía, pero ¿qué es lo que las motiva a seguir apoyando a sus hijos? O ahora le toca con su nieto también.
Ahora me toca con el nieto, pero a mí me encanta verlo feliz también jugando, participando. Él es feliz, yo soy feliz. Mis hijos son felices jugando soccer, jugando cualquier tipo de deporte, pero lo que más me encanta es de que ellos ayuden a otros niños. Igual el niño, lo estamos enseñando que ayude a otros niños a estar en el deporte, a hacer cosas buenas. Y a mí me encanta, tanto que ellos ayuden y yo ayudarlos a ellos y a todos los demás que yo pueda ayudarlos. Ahí estamos, pero me encanta de que anden haciendo cosas buenas y procurando que otras personas lo hagan también.
My mom she's been able to see it from our side, my brothers and mine, and then now she's able to see it through her grandson, my brother's kid. She's able to see it through him. But same thing is, as long as we're happy, she's happy. As long as Dylan's happy, she's happy. And that's the key thing for her, and just showing that she supports us. And but she also wants for us to give. Like, she doesn't just enjoy us playing, but she also enjoys us teaching it. In this case, my brother is a coach, I'm a coach, and even Dylan, he helps out with the little kids as well. So that's something she enjoys.
Yeah. I don't have any kids. Clear, man. Good. Next question. I'm just a question man here.
No,
It's good. Just
it's-
but I
Go
wanted to also like if you can translate Amy's mother. Sorry, I forgot.
Kristen, it's
Kristen?
okay.
Yeah. Her answers too.
So, Kristen lo que dijo también de que ella lo que le encanta es ver a su hijo feliz. Si mientras su hijo lo disfruta, ella lo disfruta. So, si llega un momento que él ya no disfruta el fútbol o que no es para él, ella ahí lo va a parar. Pero mientras él le siga disfrutando, ella lo sigue disfrutando igual.
Yeah. All unique answers, but it's also like very similar too.
Yeah.
It's also like we also see it in the parents too, in our parents that if they see us happy, we're playing, they're also happy, which is very unique to have.
Yeah.
It's very exemplary of a parent to have because not many parents are
No,
exemplary, man.
Yeah, we see it a lot, especially like I was able to coach at Cummings High School this year. We see it a lot where kids want to play, and there's something as simple as taking your kid to get a physical done, and they can't. They're like, Coach, can you talk to my dad? Can you talk to my mom? Oh, I can't get out of work. Can you take him? Like, no, I can't. A parent has to sign it, and it's like I saw it through my mom, right? Because she would always, it didn't matter. She would always take me and my brother. As soon as our physical was done, boom, we got it. And we played multiple sports. Well, my brother, he mainly just played soccer. He tried other sports, but he didn't like it much. But I did wrestling, I did track, I did football, and then my mom was always there. Or even if she wasn't there to watch me, she was always there to pick me up. And not just me, she would pick up my friends too, and carpool and stuff like that. And it's very important because even when I played in college, there was times where we played in big stadiums, in front of 20, 30, 40,000 people. And it doesn't matter where we played, I always knew where my mom was. Like it was like as soon as I walked in, it was, oh yeah, there's my mom. So está hablando de la importancia que es apoyar a los niños, como por ejemplo lo que vivimos con nosotros ahorita, por ejemplo yo que fui entrenador en la high school, de que muchos niños ni siquiera lo quieren llevar a que hagan su físico. Y puedes llamarle a mi papá o a mi mamá que lo hagan. Y no, lo siento, no puedo porque estoy trabajando o así. Y pues lamentablemente los niños tienen ganas de jugar, pero pues no hay con qué. Y incluso usted que le daba los raites a mis amigos y todo eso cuando estaba yo en la escuela. Y lo que digo que es muy importante el apoyo porque usted siempre, aunque no fuera a los partidos, yo siempre sabía que usted estaba ahí. Y a veces jugaba en estadios de 20, 30 mil, 40 mil personas y entrando, luego la veía a usted. So.
A mí siempre me ha gustado apoyarlos y siempre les he gritado, para que ellos escuchen que ahí estoy, que a veces no sé ni qué es lo que hacen, pero yo con verlos a ellos felices y que no están haciendo cosas malas, yo siempre voy a estar ahí.
My mom's always been a loud supporter. So she always wants us to know that she's there, even if sometimes she doesn't understand what's going on. And she always made herself heard. That's for sure.
It's really important to have somebody like that. Your parent, more than anything, to be there, like present for your games. Like I remember, like when I used to play, like always like you, like no matter what, like you would look to see if your parent is like watching it. So like. My question is like, how important is it to have as a parent, to have for your child to feel your presence there, or even like have seen you, or seeing your child play?
Well, I'm usually quiet. I rarely. I'm a quiet parent.
Except when you brought that thing.
Oh yeah, but that was Francisco's idea. But my husband isn't. He is very vocal. Not negatively, he's always cheering and cheering them up, but I do see that the kids like act differently and play differently when he goes because it boosts them up. It gives them that boost that oh my God, somebody is cheering for me. Sometimes we think they're not listening, but somehow they are. Yeah. And it does change the way they play. Estaba comentando, yo no hablo, soy muy callada, no, casi nunca digo nada, pero mi esposo, él sí es muy vocal y siempre es muy positivamente, pero siempre habla y le está hablando a los niños todo el tiempo y yo sí veo que el comportamiento de ellos es diferente cuando él va, cuando él los apoya y él les dice cosas, ellos juegan de una manera diferente y es muy importante que los papás, que sepan que los papás están presentes.
En mi caso es diferente. Yo soy la que grito, yo grito mucho cuando a mí me dicen, ellos, mamá, no puedes gritar tanto. Oh, no, es aburrido para mí porque no puedo gritar.
Well, my mom is the opposite. She's the loud one, and my dad's the quiet one. So it's even sometimes, that was more so my brother. They would tell her, hey, you can't make so much of a noise. Like she'd be like, oh, this is boring to me. To me, I didn't really care. I always loved hearing
Mi
cheers.
esposo no. Él está callado, está tranquilo, haciendo coraje él solo, así. Y yo no, yo tengo que gritar, yo tengo que...
My dad's the quiet one. He was the one that he used to stay quiet. He'd get pissed off or something, but he'd just like keep it quiet. We heard it at home though. Like when we got home, like my dad would never be the one. He'd be like, hey, do this, do that, you know, in the game. But when we got home, that's when he would start breaking things down for us. Like, all right, man, you did this wrong. What should you do when you do this? Then why didn't you do it? I was like, I don't know, man. You know? But yeah, that's typically how it was.
Mine's a completely different perspective. I try to stay quiet because my nerves are like this all the time. So I'm either chewing gum, have a lollipop in my mouth, or I'm talking to somebody and they probably want me to be quiet because I can't focus. But for Eamon in his position, and since I grew up playing his position, it's more of a mental game for him because they could win the game and he will focus on the one goal that got by. He still does. So for me, it was more after they scored a goal to be there to say, okay, get your team back in it, you know, encourage them, pick your head up, it's one goal, get back in the game. Because it is really tiring trying to battle that mental component.
Yeah, being a goalie's parent,
I played goalie
Yes,
all
it's
my life
different.
too. And then I was a kicker in football. So kicking is like 90% mental. And sometimes that's what hurt me. It was like I'll miss a kick, and then it was like,
Oh, and that's the thing, you have to walk out on the field like nobody's gonna get anything, you know, by me. I'm, what is it, top dog or whatever, but inside you're like, oh my God, here we go again. Please let me make the save.
Yeah, I think it's just it's very important. I think as a player, and I had a unique perspective of growing up. My parents, you know, they had to work a lot, so they couldn't come to all my games. But it's like you said, like once I see them or hear them, you act different and you play different.
well, just like today, like this morning, it was nothing athletic, but my girlfriend, her kid had a award ceremony this morning. So, you know, she was working, so I went to see him. But I'll just see all the other kids.
Yeah.
Right, they'll come and they'll see their parent, like they'll be like looking for him.
Yeah.
See the big smile on their
Exactly.
face, they're waving.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet. And I was just looking at that the whole time. And then when Ethan saw me, he just looked at me. He just said, like he just acknowledged, you know, like hey, like you're here. And that's very important, man. But it's also important to be there positively, right? Because like one thing we have been talking about lately in like the previous episodes of the podcast is how can I say, not demanding from the kids, but has set expectations for them, right? Like especially younger, like education-wise, like hey, we ask for you to have good grades, right, and this and that, and encourage them to get there. But you also don't want to put that pressure on them, and I think that's big in athletics. When it comes to athletics, like we see it all the time. Right? We've had cases where kids are 4 or 5 years old, and you know he make a mistake. It's a 4 or 5 year old. You know, like the thing at that age is just getting them to love the game. And we got parents that pull them out. Hey man, why are you doing this? And start screaming, and make the kid cry. And so that's another subject I wanted to touch. Like, how do you support your kids, right, when you're on the sideline? Like my mom, she was always, I could always hear it, but she was never negative. It was always like, let's go, Adama, you got it, come on. And especially if I messed up, that's when I hear it the most, you know, because she wanted to cheer me on. And like I'm pretty sure in just about every video, whether it's me, my brother, or Dylan, you hear my mom like, vamos, vamos. But yeah, that's my next question. Like, how do you support the kids? You know, like it's a big factor on how big your kids are or how long they'll do a sport, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But I'm quiet. I usually, especially when they made a mistake or they lose, try not to focus on that and just ask them what could they have done better, what do they need to work on so that won't happen again. You know, whatever, if you don't make mistakes, you won't learn. So you have to learn from your mistakes. And I just try to make sure they know that a mistake doesn't define them. A mistake doesn't tell them who they are. They just have to learn from it and get better and keep working to meet their goal. And I try to remind them that all the time. I usually, if I see them that they're getting frustrated in the game, I just tell them, you just keep your mind calm. I said, just get into your game, play your game, don't play nobody else's game. And I try to tell them that and make sure they know that so they can stay focused. It's not easy all the time, especially when you're inside a field with all these kids, and you take a big fall and you get upset. It's normal, but they have to learn to grow and to do better each time. And that's what's gonna help them in life, not just in the sport. In life, you're gonna make mistakes, and you have to learn to fix them and to be a better person when you make a mistake. And that's, I think, the most important thing about playing sports, that it helps you shape a better person for life, for being as a good citizen, a good person, a good student, a good husband, a good friend. So it helps them grow a lot. Para mí es muy importante que ellos sepan que está bien que cometan errores, que de los errores se aprenden, que tienen que mantenerse positivos, a veces se frustran, es un juego y es un juego de roce, de contacto, y a veces se molestan, pero tienen que mantener la mente fría, tratar de aprender que tienen que aprender de sus errores, que pueden hacer mejor la siguiente vez para poder crecer. Eso es lo que a mí me gusta mucho del deporte, que es que no nada más es un deporte, es algo que están aprendiendo para su vida, cosas positivas, cosas que los van a enseñar a ser mejores personas, mejores esposos, mejores hermanos, mejores amigos, y están aprendiendo a ser buenos ciudadanos y buenas personas.
A nosotros nos está pasando con el niño, con el nieto, de que él perdía un partido y él se frustraba de él, lloraba, se sentía mal, como él llevaba el café, se le llama, de capitán. Entonces nosotros empezamos a decirle que él no podía ser ya más capitán porque no le podía enseñar a los demás niños. Y como él, su mentalidad de él es como quedar bien con los niños, enseñarle a los niños que tienen que hacer cosas mejores, ¿verdad? Entonces él ya poco a poco él ha ido avanzando eso, de que ya no se debe de frustrar, ya no debe de llorar, y pienso que también uno tiene que estar atrás de ellos, impulsándole, enseñándole cosas así para que ellos pues sean mejores cada vez, tanto en casa como en escuela, en deporte, en todos lados. El respeto.
What you saw with Dylan, our grandkid, is he would get really frustrated. If they lose a game, he'd get frustrated. He'd start crying and whatnot. And so Dylan would wear the captain's armband with his team. And so the talk that they had with him was, hey man, like if you keep doing this, you can't wear that armband. I mean, with Dylan's mentality, he's all about helping kids and being the right example for those, for his peers. So it was like having that conversation with him, like helped him kind of like switch gears, and he started controlling himself a little more. But it's, she's saying it's very important to have that backup or of support, of correction. So, yeah, and it's, I think having a coach is very important too, and teaching kids that, like, no matter, let's say, you see it with pro athletes, for example, right? Like there's a picture of Messi where he's just sitting there watching his kid play, right? And Messi, right, he's considered like one of the greatest of all time, just sitting there watching his kid play. Meanwhile, we see a lot of parents that just because they play soccer before or something, they want to dictate how the game is run, right? Or argue with the referees, right?
Or the coach.
Or the coach, yeah. And the coaching ain't easy, man. No, it's not easy at all. No.
Not at all.
But
Reffing either.
We've been able to
It's
do.
always the ref.
It is.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
is.
I think
Yes,
you
it's
can
the
get
ref's
away
fault.
with if you're the coach in some instance, but the ref, man, if not this team hates you, that kid hates you. If not that kid's parents hate you, like, oh God, like, you can never please everybody. But yeah, referee's not.
Sí, yo luego cuando mi esposo juega, cuando mis hijos juegan, cuando mi nieto juega, yo quisiera hacerle así al referee, pero ya después digo no. Tengo que respirar. La
There's-
mera verdad.
There's been instances where she's like when my dad used to play, when we play, or when Dylan plays at the referee, and she's like, sometimes I want to choke him, but it's like I have to sit back and relax and be like, no, this is just a game. We've gotten cussed out a couple times as referees out here.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been more worse things that have gone.
But
Other than cussing out.
I think it's very rewarding. Like, I mean, I'm not a parent.
As a referee?
No. No, like, for example, like I was thinking to, like, I'm not a parent yet, but I'm pretty sure it's very rewarding. Like, see how far your kids advance. Like, I see it with the boys, right? Like, I mean, I'm not the parent or anything, but I mean, just being with them all the time and seeing how much they grow. Like, for example, this past 9 weeks, I had 5 of the boys had straight A's and the other 5 had A's and B's. Compared to last year we were struggling, right?
Yes, for sure.
But it was like
Well,
to
mine
me, that feels me. That
one
fills me
doesn't,
with
but
pride.
one struggles all the time.
Well, and that's a balancing act in and of itself, because one excels here, one excels there, one doesn't. You have to look for what their particular talent is. Sometimes you have to dig really deep to find it, but once you find it, you have to build it up.
Yeah.
But then you also can't expect perfection, and that's really hard, because I'm a perfectionist. But through teaching and through parenting, because I'm still learning, I am not an expert parent by any means. Every day is a different challenge, a different set of problems or issues to face. But I think the biggest thing I've learned is that it is okay to fail. It is okay to fail on the field. It is okay to fail, academically, because if you don't fail, you're never going to learn how to win. You're not going to learn how to appreciate the hard work that you put in to get yourself from point A to point B. And that is the toughest lesson to teach. In the classroom, I teach math. My kids want A's and B's, which I applaud, but at the same token, if they're working to their best of their ability and they're getting a C, yay. But if they're not, that's when we have to, encourage them. But if they don't make the mistake, adding 2 + 2, they're never going to learn that it's 4. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's the same on the field. It's the same in parenting. It's everything. And if you want to get better, you have to practice at it all.
That's the best answer I've ever heard.
I guess. Yeah.
But also, dude, applause to you guys, for sure. And to any other parent that's out there. Because there's no parenting booklet that you can just
Well,
pick
there
out of.
It doesn't work for every child is different.
Yes, every
I know I gave
person's
my
different.
mom a lot of headaches.
Every single gray hair is a result of a decision our children have made.
De lo que es ser un padre, de apoyar, que no hay un libro para decirte cómo es ser papá. Y pues cada hijo es diferente. Digo que pues yo sé que le saqué varias canas a usted.
Sí, pero aún así yo te amo, tú sabes. Yo siempre los voy a estar apoyando, siempre tengo que estarles enseñando y aprendiendo cosas nuevas. Tanto ellos me enseñan a mí como yo les enseño a ellos, nunca terminamos de aprender. Sí, pero bueno, tenemos que seguir luchando en la vida.
Sí.
Tenemos que seguir luchando y pues ahora los que siguen, hay que enseñarles a los chiquititos.
Bueno, les queremos agradecer mucho por estar aquí con nosotros hoy. We really want to thank you, ladies, for being with us today. It was an honor. I really look up to y'all, and I appreciate y'all very, very much. And well, yeah, that wraps it up for episode 6 of our podcast. Primer episodio, tanto en inglés como en español. Vamos a trabajar en las traducciones. Como les habíamos dicho, vamos a tener más invitados. Vamos a trabajar más en lo que es la educación de los niños, de lo que es apoyar, pues un poquito de todo lo que se ofrece en el Dream Center. Cualquier cosa que quieran saber o preguntar, déjenlo en los comentarios, déjenos saber qué quieren escuchar, a quién quieren que invitemos, y pues aquí estaremos.
We'll see you
good.
next time. Yeah.
Yeah, see you next episode.
Bye. Thank you for you guys for giving your time.
Thank you.
I got just in time.
Like, when can we relax? And done.
Great job.